I'm Bookbird, and we're gonna go through the 2025 Goodreads Choice Awards that were dropped today. So I was actually in the middle of writing a script for a different video when I realized the Goodreads Choice Awards were put out today on November 11th. So let's get into it. I have my tea. So whatever drink you have, cheers. Let's look at the Choice Awards for 2025. This is my Goodreads homepage. Let's click and see the opening round. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Choice Awards for Goodreads, they are mostly a popularity contest, pretty much like any other awards show or nomination form of voting. So I actually don't expect to have read a lot of these, and also I don't dabble into any other genres, so I'll be surprised to see how many I've read of anything other than fantasy, sci-fi, mystery in these categories. And I'll probably vote on the fantasy sci-fi stuff today too, and then figure out other ones later. Since it's all popularity contest, doesn't really matter if you've read it or not, you can still vote on the books. Let's see. So this is favorite fiction. I have not read any of these top ones. I've read My Friends. It wasn't my favorite by Bachman, but I may have to go with that one if that's the only one I've read so far. Looks like, yep, that is the only one on this list that I've read in 2025. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and vote for it, since I use the system of have I read it if I can, and then if it's an author I enjoy reading, I usually vote on them even if I haven't read their new release of the year. Okay, historical fiction. I already am voting for this one because I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5-star. It takes place in past and present. Past is in Egypt, and then present is in the Met Gala art scene, where they have the artifacts from Egypt. I really enjoyed this one, and I had actually borrowed it from the library first and then went back and bought it because I enjoyed it so much, so I could own it. There's a lot that I want to read otherwise. Oh, and I did read The Hounding, but I feel like The Stolen Queen by Fiona Davis wins for me based on the 5-star I think that I gave it, because I only gave The Hounding I think a 3-star. So I'm actually so far reading into more than I thought, or that I remember, because this year has been crazy. So for favorite mystery thriller, I haven't read any of those two rows. I did read Beautiful Ugly. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, I think, like I enjoyed it, and I listened to it on audiobook, I think. But I don't know that it would be my favorite, but that's the only one I have read, so I'm going to vote for it, even though I have no idea if other ones are better. But based on the fact that I have actually read it, I'm gonna vote for it. Ooh, the next category is romance. I don't really read romance, so this will be interesting. None of the first or second rows. None of the next two rows. Nope, I have not read any of these favorite romance books, which checks for my reading taste, especially for modern romance. A lot of these are definitely not cutesy romance. Oh, and romantasy still has its own, so that I guess that's good, but we'll see how many I have actually read. I haven't read Rebecca Ross's book yet. It's on my TBR for the end of the year. I refuse to read Alchemized. Have not read any other ones. Oh, I've read Immortal. I won't know. And I've read Emily Wilde's Compendium. I'm gonna have to decide on between these ones, because I probably won't get to Wild Reverence before the opening round closes. So this one will take me a little bit to decide between Immortal and Compendium. I know I'll probably enjoy Rebecca Ross more, but I also do really enjoy Sue Lynn Tan. So I may, just based on author, I may go with Immortal. I have to check. I don't know what the dates are for when it closes for the final vote, but I'm assuming I will go with Immortal because Compendium was good, but it wasn't a great ending to that series. Okay, now let's get to fantasy. I have not read any of the first two rows. I read A Drop of Corruption. That one was good. So far that's the only... Oh, and Wind and Truth. I still have a feeling Brandon Sanderson will win overall because of the popularity. Even if people haven't read it yet, I feel like he has a strong chance. So I wish I had read this. I haven't even read the first book in this series. I own it on ebook, but I haven't read it yet because people said the first book, it was kind of like so cliffhangery for a second one that I just wanted to wait until the second one was out, but then never got to it. So I'm gonna have to go with this one, Drop of Corruption. We'll see, narrowed down what's left by the final. Okay, so science fiction, let's see what's under these. Oh, I remember last year they did more like, it was like lit fic sci-fi. I have not read any of these. I do own the Poppy Fields on audio that I could get to. Will I get to it before the end of this round? Probably not. I've read The Memory Collectors. That one was good. The Dream Hotel I almost DNF'd, but pushed through. I got that for one of my library reads this year. And that's it for what I've read. So I'm gonna go with The Memory Collectors. And as you can see, I mark what things I own in my lists on here on Goodreads, so then I can tell between what's like the want to read stuff I don't own, but like I own this one on ebook and this one is on audio, like I said. Same with this I apparently own on ebook. It must have been, I think that was an Amazon First Reads choice that you got for free. If you have Prime, you get a first pick every month. Alright, so that was sci-fi. Don't know how much horror I have read this year. I did read the Grady Hendrix. Ooh, Immaculate Conception is horror? I don't know that I would call it horror. It was more sci-fi than horror. I like that one more than the Grady Hendrix. And I haven't read any of these. I read Buffalo Hunter Hunter. I own this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Immaculate Conception. I really enjoyed that one. More than Buffalo Hunter Hunter and Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I feel like next choice would be Buffalo Hunter Hunter and then the Grady Hendrix. I think that's my list in order of how I would vote. Now, debut novel, on this, The Hounding was a debut novel. I have not read any of those. Nope, I have not read any of them. So I'm gonna skip voting on that one. Let's see if I've listened to any of these, because this is purely audiobook, and I usually listen through Libby if I get to. Did I listen to the My Friends audio? I think I read it physically. I have not listened to any of these. Well, I cannot vote on any of these based on if I have heard them, but I may vote later based on if I can listen through samples, maybe. Otherwise I'll skip it and wait till the final one. Young and adult, fantasy, and sci-fi. I have not read any of these. I own this one on audio. Haven't read any of those. I like Marissa Meyer. Oh, I did read this one. I own this one. So I guess I have to vote for the only one that I've read this year, which it's probably in a strong contender for a lot of people reading it this year. Oh, yep, I own this one and this one, but I have not gotten to it. Okay, young adult fiction. Nope. I do own the first Dungeons and Drama book, but I haven't read it yet. I just heard it was a cute romance. I can kind of see why I haven't read a lot of these. So I'll skip voting for that one. Nonfiction. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be lucky to have read anything on here, although this Fort Bragg one sounds interesting. Nope, none of them. Don't know what memoirs came out this year, but we'll check out the memoirs. Nope, have not read any of these. History and biography. Nope. This one sounds interesting though. That's one thing about these awards, is you find books that you didn't hear about, and that's the end. Okay. I don't know that I read more than I thought I was gonna find on this list, but also I feel once again underwhelmed, and you look at a lot of these names and they have either been pushed by Book of the Month, Aardvark, or publishing bestseller authors. So based on the metrics that Goodreads uses, it's always like skewed and biased to the way things are marketed to. So it looks like this round will end in 12 days. 23rd is when this opening round will end, and then the final round starts just before Thanksgiving until the end of the month, and then early December we'll find out the winner. So I definitely don't have time to read some of those books. So thank you for joining me today, going through all of the opening round of the Goodreads Choice Awards, thinking of doing my own Choice Awards at the end for what I've read for my personal booktube channel. So please subscribe if you want to see more book content from me. I have ideas coming down the pipeline that I'm kind of working on. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of